Huh. Alright, a little bit ghetto rigged, but fuck it. Let's do it. Oh, I can actually walk around with this video now. Fuck it, why not? Alright, so Phil, been watching the show for a while now, and you're constantly talking about how you want to have a conversation, but I gotta be real with my dude. Conversations are kind of whack. But, like, in the comment section, man, I have a hard time dealing with it. But I have a solution. One to which I don't think I looked at patenting an idea. I don't think I can't patent this shit, so feel free to steal the fuck out of it. Just remember, nigga, me, bitch. I was that dude. Respect, like, that's it. But besides that, I just want to say, like, I said I was going to make a video talking about cultural appropriation, the arguments for it, and why that there are good arguments for cultural appropriation, or for us to at least acknowledge and pay attention to it. Because a lot of the arguments you hear, like the Kylie Jenner shit, is just like, these people are stupid, honestly. Like, at the end of the day, as a person of color, very limited color, I'm mixed, and probably one of the most lightest skinned black dudes ever. I know, it's the lighting. Leave me alone. I live in Colorado, I haven't got a lot of sun, but I am black. But regardless of any of that, what was I gonna say? Oh, like, bro, you got a good show. You do, and I've seen it, dude. You've tried to hit on some issues that you're really trying to hit on, and your audience has probably reacted negatively towards that. What you can do to just fucking take that shit out of your hands is allow your audience to talk about contentious issues, you know what I mean? And choose the best arguments from both sides. And if you can put that in a video, do you know how many people want to be YouTube famous? Shit ton. Shit ton. But what you can do on top of making some people YouTube famous is you can allow people to actually have real conversations, to really talk about their positions and why they hold them. And if you can do that effectively in your show, have segments like, okay, this is the issue we talked about, and here are two of the best comments we've had from each side, you will actually create a real conversation. You'll actually have people who understand what they're talking about. And through that, give them the capacity and platform to actually talk and communicate. And I mean, there's a lot of ways you can trip that up and screw it up. If you want, I could talk to you, send you an email or something about it. But regardless, you could create a show with viewer participation in the age of YouTube where everybody's working on ads. You could get viewers not only interested in your show, but you could get people interested in what you're talking about and paying attention to what you're talking about, and even talking about the issues that they believe in. You know what I mean? So I think you could do a good job of that if you just understood some of the parameters and such. So as such, I'm going to talk about cultural appropriation and why it's actually kind of an important issue that people who hate Kylie Jenner are getting wrong. Okay. If you think systematic racism is a problem, and you think that fixing systematic racism is a problem, and Kylie Jenner is the position that you need to attack, you're probably an idiot. And that's just the truth, and that's just the reality. Look, racism is a problem in America, and cultural appropriation has been a huge problem in America. And the problem that people don't understand about cultural appropriation is what it actually is. It's not this idea of like, oh, he's wearing cornrows or this, that, and the other. It's about gaining a level of economic benefit from a particular culture that is also being subjugated and denigrated within the United States. I.e. rock and roll. Okay? People don't know this, but rock and roll was actually created by black people. It was the offshoot of the blues, so on and so forth. That's what made Elvis Presley all the money he did. He took black music, and he was a white dude who sang it, so everybody in the country was like, oh my God, Elvis, because of the fact that he was culturally acceptable. Beatles, an offshoot of black culture. AC/DC, offshoot of black culture. The entire reality of rock and roll in America and across the fucking country was a product of fucking black people. Now, you can hate it, you can dislike it, but at the end of the day, it's the fucking truth. If you don't know how to understand the truth, not my fucking problem. But black people created rock and roll. That has probably created trillions upon trillions of dollars throughout the fucking world. Black people in America, when that shit was created, didn't see a dime of it. In fact, black people in America, when rock and roll and Elvis Presley was rolling around, couldn't even drink at the bars, couldn't even stay at the hotels that was played at. It was the creation of black people. So what it comes down to, what it really comes down to, is one simple reality. That black people contributed a great amount to America, our society, and even the world culturally, but haven't seen a dime of it. And in fact, have continued to be denigrated and hated besides, denigrated and hated. Hold on. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So black people contributed a shit ton to this country, a shit ton to the world, especially American blacks. But they don't see a dime of that shit. They haven't seen a dime of that shit. And it would be one thing if it was all a cultural mixing pot. But the problem is, and the truth is, black people still deal with a level of fucking racism and discrimination in this country today. The fucker who killed Tamir Rice, a 12-year-old fucking boy, without even talking to him, just rolled up, shot him to death. He has another job. This cop who shot and killed Tamir Rice, a 12-year-old boy, has another job as a police officer, and we're all like, yeah, this shit's cool. The issue of cultural appropriation, for people who actually know what they're fucking talking about, is an issue of American history. It is an issue of saying, hey, black people have contributed a shit ton to this world, but black people are still treated like shit. And because of the fact that we have this cultural identity, like, oh, you can't claim a culture that at the end of the day, no matter what black people come up with, it can be stolen, reused, and retaken, no matter what the fuck goddamn happens. And it's all fucking cool. You know what I mean? That you don't have to give credit to any fucking person who created an idea. You don't have to give credit to the people. You can still hate fucking black. To me, it's insane. White supremacists are some of the most dumb, ignorant, asshole people on this fucking planet, because they will fucking create rock music, listen to rock music, and at the same time hate black people. Guess what, bitch? If it wasn't for black people, rock would not exist. Fact. And we don't have this conversation. So when people talk about cultural appropriation, it's not about Kylie Jenner. At least, it's not an issue. You know what I mean? Kylie Jenner having an afro isn't a fucking issue. What the issue is that America has failed to recognize the contribution of black people to this country and to the world, and as such has allowed black people to be in a position of just lacking everything. You know what I mean? We don't have to acknowledge any of these people for anything that they fucking done. They're trash, they're weak-minded, they're, animalistic, all of this shit. And it's because of the fact, historically, we don't recognize black people's contributions. So this whole idea of cultural appropriation has its real meaning and matter in the comprehension of us as Americans, the comprehension of blacks as Americans who have contributed to this society. Because as long as America doesn't recognize the fact that black people had a huge impact, not a huge impact, they created rock and roll, people still have these racist tendencies, and if that knowledge, that historical fact was better known, black people would be better off in this country. But instead of that, we have this fucking bullshit narrative about cultural appropriation and its realities of oh, is Kylie Jenner wearing an afro? No, it goes vastly deeper than that and has a vastly larger problem than that, which is that black people, while still considered subhuman, animalistic, violent, have contributed so much to this fucking country, but at the same exact fucking time are hated across this country by people who enjoy the creation of fucking black people, aka motherfucking rock and roll. If you're a fucking racist and you like rock and roll, remember this shit. You support the artistic integrity, the artistic creation of fucking black people. And if you have a fucking problem with that, you're an asshole. Period. And that's the issue. Cultural appropriation is vastly more complex, has vastly more to deal with how we get along as Americans and how do we right the wrongs of the country. Because the truth is, Elvis took black music and made himself rich off of it. And America never even acknowledged that black people are the people who created rock and roll. Trillions of dollars made off of that music, and black people don't even get credit. So you hear people get mad about afros. It's literally fucking cemented in that mentality. It's just a lot of people don't know how to explain it or even understand it themselves. So yeah, Definitely longer than 2 minutes, but fuck it. Hope you watch it. Deuces, my dude. And hey, Phil, don't take credit for this shit. And be like, you know, I had a viewer and shit. Gave me a great idea. So let's have a greater conversation. That's it. Shout out, my dude. Deuces.